Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to show you how to get Visual Studio Code connected to a FreeBSD machine with an SSH connection. Okay, let's do this. Here I have a simple system that I just installed. It's a fresh new install, and the first thing that we're going to get here running is Linuxolator. For that, you know the drill. We log into the machine. And we do service Linux enable, service Linux start. All right, so we have the Linux service running, and now we just need to do pkg install -y Linux rl9. Now we wait a little bit. All right, so this is done. Now, this is a fresh new machine. What I'm going to do is create a new user, which I'm just going to call user. Get everything with the defaults. All right, we have a user configured in the system. Now, and this is a very important thing because I've seen already some tutorials online, but none of them mention the following point. For Visual Studio Code to connect to the machine, you need to have an SSH key. And I've seen that the best thing is to have the SSH key have no password. So let's go to the Mac machine and let's copy the authorized keys. So I cd to my SSH folder and I copy the authorized keys. All right, so let's put this as user 192.168.64.21. Let's put this in /tmp. All right, so we have this file there. Now we log in as user and create the directory SSH, cd.ssh, and move tmp authorized keys here. Okay, the permissions is not correct. Let me see. No, it's fine. The machine has different permissions. Read write for this file. This is actually okay. Let's do a chmod 0700 to the current directory. All right, this looks a little bit better. And now let's test connectivity. So I just do SSH user at 192.168.64.21. And I'm inside the machine without the need for a password. Great! So this is almost done. Before we continue, let me show you another thing which is really interesting and important. And this is the reason mostly why the VSD, the Visual Studio Code, does not connect. And if you type uname, here you get FreeBSD. But if you go to compact Linux user bin uname, you get Linux. How interesting. Now if we run so if we just run uname, you see that this is FreeBSD, but if we run compact Linux user bin bash and now uname, you get Linux. This is a feature of FreeBSD. Once you start the bash from the Linux subsystem, the uname gets redirected to the /compact directory. And this is why the tutorials online are working. So let's try to reproduce the tutorials online. For that, I'm going to go to my machine here and look at the config. The user we're going to connect is user request tty. I think this might be necessary. This might not be necessary. Let's actually put this to force. I see this online. Remote command compact Linux user bin bash. So this means we want to start the Linux bash, meaning that uname is going to be Linux, which is important. Now let's go to Visual Studio Code. Here we have it. And I've installed already the plugin. So here in the plugin, you can just select the remote SSH. You can just select connect to SSH. And now let's just connect to the remote machine. And lo and behold, it's working. It's setting up the things and everything is working fine. Let's just wait a little bit. No, it did not work very well. So let's see what's happening. This is Mr. Murphy. Offline error, timed out. It's not going. All right, but have no worries. I have two more methods for you. So let me do another thing. So I'm going to cat desktop and vscode, and you're going to see I have here a file, the vscode extensions, etc, 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 install scripts Linux server. So let's open this file and let's search for my patch already, FreeBSD. Okay, and you can see here around this line here, get host platform architecture, you should have Linux, Darwin, and no FreeBSD. So this line is not there, and you can add FreeBSD here and platform pointing to Linux, and you should have it running now. Before that, let's look at the config file. Let's just delete the things here and let's try it again on Visual Studio Code. Okay, so connect to host user at 192.168.64.21. And now it's downloading and copying. Now it's working. Hooray! So as you can see, now things are working well. And this is just the question that when you are in the machine, so let's try to open a terminal, new terminal, and you type here uname, and you see uname is Linux. And why is this Linux? Is because it's running with a server, with a file that it was copied there under .vscode server. And this VS Code has a file there. Let's have a look at this. It's a file that was just uploaded. This is this mini server. And lo and behold, this is a Linux file. So, and this is the reason why when I type in uname, I get Linux. Although you know, under, well, here, etc OS release, I think I still see Linux. Yes, I still see the Rocky Linux here because there is some redirection ongoing of the paths. Let's see here. Okay. So there is a little bit of path redirection, some trickery running in the kernel. All right. So this is one of the ways that you can start Visual Studio Code. Is you can patch the platform. But the problem you have here is if you update Visual Studio Code, it's going to update the plugin and the shell thing, this trick is going to disappear. So let's stop this thing here and let's try to fix it in another way. First, let's undo the settings. So let's go to this one here, FreeBSD, and let's comment this out already. And let's try Visual Studio Code and let's try to connect again, and you're going to see it's not going to work. User at 192.168.64.21. Let's go, and it's going to fail. Yes, cannot establish connection. So, and if you look here at the problem that happens is the platform is undefined. So it's saying that the platform is a FreeBSD platform. Okay. So for that, we can do another neat trick. let's go to the machine again. Let's SSH user at 192.168.64.21, and let's create here a small trick. Let's create a directory .bin, and let's go to the .bin. And now I'm going to link compat linux user bin uname, uname. Okay, where is uname? Yes, uname is here. Okay, sorry. Yes, now we're there. So if I try uname from here, I get Linux. But this is not going to work, so I'm going to manipulate a little bit the path. And for that, I'm going to manipulate the profile. The profile is loaded every time you log in remotely with SSH. So, oops, Vim is not installed. Oh, mon Dieu. All right, then let's go to VI. And let's add here in the last line export path equals /home user dot bin and path. All right, so we should be good to go. Now look at the things. We have uname is FreeBSD. I log out and I log in again. Uname is Linux. Ooh, all right. Why? Because echo path, it's redirecting to this directory there. Let's try to log in now. So connect to host with user at 192.168.64.21, and hooray, we are in, we are there. So we are in the machine. Awesome. So open folder, bin user. Yes, I trust the folder. I trust everything. And that's basically it. I'm going to try to do another thing. So let's go out and let's try again Vim profile. So, oops, no Vim. Ay. So let's take this one out. All right, so if I go out and I log in again, uname is FreeBSD as it should. And now let's look at the config and let's again type in the host remote. All right, so you can see I've done already this thing again, the remote host name 192.168.64.21, user request TTY force and remote command. Let's see, this should not be running. Connect to remote, and no, it doesn't. Now we try to go to the settings, and let's see if I can add something here. I think here, remote, so SSH enable remote command. Let's put this to true. And let's save. Let's try this again. Connect remote. And lo and behold, you can see this is now working. So that is the setting that we needed to do, which is in the settings. We needed to enable the remote SSH, enable remote command set to true, and now everything works. How nice is this? I've shown you 3 different ways to make this work. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for passing by. If you have some comments or suggestions, you know already, use the space down below. Otherwise, take care, see you next time, and have fun. Bye-bye.